Sarah is a college student and fashion designer who moved in for her first day at university. On the first night, her new friend Tracy invites her to a party. During the party, a young man named Steven poured a drink on Sarah so they could get to know her, and he became her friend since that day. After the party ended, Sarah returned to her apartment and met her. With her new roommate Rebecca, Sarah gets to know her and begins to move around and spend most of her time with her. Rebecca was very happy in her company until Sarah's friend Tracy interrupted them and invited her to a party. This made Rebecca very upset. After they went to the party, Tracy met a young man there, so she went with him and left Sarah alone. So Sarah called Rebecca to accompany her, and even though Rebecca was asleep, she quickly went to meet Sarah, and Rebecca took advantage of the situation and invited her to tour with her again. The next day, Sarah went with her on a tour of the museum, and they had a good time. Sarah showed Rika a tattoo with the name of her sister Emily, who died when she was young. Rebecca became more curious about Sarah, as she was examining her things and wearing her deceased sister's necklace. Sarah became angry at a cat in the street, so she entered her apartment, even though university law prevented them from doing so. But her roommate Rebecca did not refuse to keep it in their apartment, and considered it a secret between them. Sarah saw her sister's necklace she was wearing and became upset. She would often say, "You can wear any of my clothes except my sister's. You can't mess with them." The next day, Stephen went to Sarah and invited her on a date. Sarah ran into her friend Tracy and apologized to her for leaving her alone at the party. Sarah accepted her apology, and his reconciliation angered Rebecca. After Sarah returned to her apartment, she invited her. Rebecca went to the art gallery together after she bought 2 tickets for them. So Sarah decided to cancel her date with Stephen so as not to let her friend go alone, and Sarah gave her a loaner to wear. Rebecca did not have a piercing in her ear, but she inserted the earring so forcefully that blood dripped from her ear. She did not want to neglect anything related to Sarah and went with her to the exhibition. After they returned, Tracy got up to get water, and when she opened the door, Rebecca was surprised. He sat in front of her apartment and Rebecca just looked at her with frightened looks and left without saying anything. The next day, Tracy told Sarah what her friend had done and asked her to ask her why she did it. When Sarah asked Rebecca, she lied to her and did not tell her the truth. While Tracy was in the shower, Rebecca attacked her, threatened to kill her, and told her to stay away from Sarah completely. From that day on, Tracy changed her apartment and cut off contact with Sarah. Sarah didn't know why Tracy was acting this way. Sarah was like that. She spends the night with Stephen, and when she returns late at night, Rebecca blames her for coming back late, as if she were her mother, making Sarah feel strange. Rebecca was also becoming more obsessive by the day, constantly watching her and Stephen. One day the cat left the room, and one of the workers there saw it and asked Sarah to get rid of it, because raising a cat at university is forbidden, and Sarah loved her cat very much and could not get rid of it. So she went to her friend Irene, who lives alone, and asked her to raise the cat that she wanted to get rid of. But Irene told her that this was not possible because she traveled a lot, and asked her to move in with her and her cat. So Sarah was happy with this offer because she will finally be able to keep the cat. But when her friend told Rebecca that she was leaving, Rebecca took the cat to the cleaning department, got rid of it, put it in the washing machine, opened it, and killed it without any mercy. When Sarah returned home, Rebecca pretended to cry and told her that the cat had run away, and in order for Sarah to stay with her in the apartment, she had beaten and injured herself. To make it seem more realistic, she told Sarah that she was assaulted while walking around alone, so Sarah changed her mind and decided to stay with her. One day, Sarah went with Rika to her house to get to know her family. Her house was huge, and her family was wealthy, and Rebecca was rude to her parents the next day before they left. Home, Rebecca's mother asked Sarah about her daughter and said, "Is Rebecca taking her medication?" Sarah was surprised by the question, as she knew nothing about medicines. When they returned to university, Sarah searched Rebecca's belongings for medicines. After finding them, she conducted an internet search and discovered that they were psychiatric medications to treat illnesses, mental health, and realized that Rebecca was suffering from serious psychological problems. Sarah wanted to be honest with Rebecca about the medications, so Rebecca changed the subject and asked her to accompany her because she wanted to get a tattoo like her. When she went with her, Rebecca tattooed Sarah's same tattoo that had her deceased sister's name on the same place as well, and said, "You can call me Emily." This made Sarah feel terrified by this strange behavior, and she realized how much fun she was having and decided to leave the apartment immediately, took her things, and went to Stephen's house. This worsened Rebecca's psychological condition, and she became more aggressive. She lured Sarah to her friend Erin's house, and when Sarah went there, she found Erin. Rebecca, tied to her bed, pointed the gun at her and said, "After everything I did for you, why did you leave me? Sarah tried to get along with her and apologized to her, but Rebecca wanted to kill Erin because she wanted to be her only friend, so Sarah intervened and entered into a conflict with her. During that period, they collided with the table and the knife fell from it. Rebecca's bag, so Sarah carried it and stabbed Rebecca with it, causing Rebecca to fall lifeless. Since that day, Sarah removed the second bed from her apartment at the university so that she would not have any other roommate.